Good morning, everybody. We are in week 34, day 2. And what to do now, take out surface area number 1 and check in with your teammates as well as the answer key over the 6 problems that dealt with prism and, prisms, rectangular and triangular prisms. Today's objectives. I can find the surface area of square pyramids and cylinders. This will be the last new lesson on finding surface area. Next week, we're going to be doing a review where we mix all the shapes together. So rectangular, triangular prisms, along with square pyramids and cylinders. Language objective, I can draw all the faces and write the calculations for 3D shapes. The one big difference I noticed between those students who did really well and those students who struggled is drawing out the faces. It's so important to draw the faces so you can count how to do all the addition and multiplication. And then lastly, social objective, I can collaborate with my peers on some problems while completing others on my own. So problem A on, you can collaborate, problem B on your own. For today's agenda, we'll do homework review, followed by notes, worksheet, additional supports, and planner. We'll start with the homework review. The home, find a different table. So when we look at the square pyramid, you see the models on the table also, a square pyramid along with a cylinder. How many faces do you see on the square pyramid? One. In all. Yeah, we have 5 faces. What are the different shapes that you see on the square pyramid? Triangles and a square, right? That's the name square pyramid. There's other pyramid names like rectangular pyramid or triangular pyramid. It just means the base is different. So a rectangular pyramid would have a rectangle base, a triangular pyramid would have a triangle base, and a square pyramid has a square base. So we're going to start first with the square. It's one of the 5 faces. So that's the bottom. Square, and the measurements are 6 yards by 6 yards because the square has all equal sides. And 6 yards times 6 yards is going to give us 36 yards squared. And I'll highlight that on the square pyramid as well. And as you all mentioned earlier, there are also other faces besides the square, and that is the triangles. There are 4 triangles, okay? And we're going to call that front, back, left, right. Remember, we're trying to avoid using the name sides just because side can be left side, right side, top side, bottom side, so forth. And those are triangles. Something like that. Now, when we're talking about pyramids, there are 2 different types of heights. Okay. If you look at your pyramid on your table, if you go straight down the middle of that pyramid, that's what we call the actual height. You go straight down the middle of the pyramid. You guys see that? This is not called the height, the 10 yards. Any idea what you might call that? Because that's along the side of the pyramid. It's not straight down the middle. Straight down the middle is the actual height. What do you call this on the side? It's not a side height, it's called a slant height. Does that make sense? It's slanted, the height is slanted, okay? So this 10 right here, we'll label this, you want to label this on your work also. This 10 is called the slant height. Whereas this green right here is called the height. So using your different colors in your notes, we're going to focus on the slant height because we're trying to find the area of that surface. As we get further, we're going to use that height for something else, not for surface area though. So the slant height is 10 yards. And the base, what's our base?
6 yards.
6 yards, yeah. And as discussed earlier, to find the area of any triangle, we apply the formula of base times height divided by 2. So 6 times 10 divided by 2. That will give us 6 times 10 is 60. Cut that in half. That gives us 30 yards squared. All we have to do now is find the entire surface area. So we have 1 square, so we just write 36 one time. And how many times do I write 30? How many triangle faces we have? We have 4, right? So 4 30s. And then we just add this up. So we have 4 times 30, that's going to give us 120. Then we add 36. And we get a final surface area of 156 yards squared. So a cylinder has 3 faces. We have a top, which is a circle. We have a bottom, which is also a circle. This is what we call a lateral side, lateral. What face is that? What does that look like? Mhm. What shape is that? What's skinny?
It's curved, so like really.
So we have a circle on top, we have a circle on bottom. What's this right here? What shape is that?
I think it's gonna be a rectangle.
Is it gonna be a rectangle? Okay, so let's see. Let me open this up, this can, okay? Good job packaging this. Okay. Let's set it off. What shape is it?
Rectangle.
Yeah, rectangle. Okay. So we have a rectangle, and if you recall from the Kahoot, one of the answers was called a big division symbol. So we're gonna start first with the circles. That's the top and the bottom. And they give us the radius, which is 2 inches. And what's the formula for a circle again? The area of a circle? Pi, no, Mindy. Yeah, pi times radius squared, pi r squared. So the area is equal to pi r squared. So r is 2, the radius is 2. So area equals to pi times 2 inches squared. And then 2 inches squared means 2 times 2, which is 4 inches squared. And then you multiply that pi, you get area is equal to 4 pi inches squared. Okay. So that's top and bottom. Now, when we opened up that cylinder, it became a big rectangle. So this is the area of the 2 circles. Now we're going to find the area of the rectangle. Okay. Do we know what the base or height is? What information do we know? For this rectangle. The height is 7 inches, yeah. We know the height is 7. So what's the base? What's the base? Camilla?
Wouldn't the base be the circumference of the circle?
There we go. The base is the circumference of the circle. If I remember, if you wrap this rectangle around the cylinder, the can, you have the circumference, the distance around the circle, okay? So the base, when I unravel it, becomes the circumference of the circle. And the circumference is, what again? What's the circumference formula?
The diameter.
Diameter times
Pi.
pi, yes, pi times diameter. So I'm gonna write that down. Pi circumference equals pi times diameter. And pi times d, what's our diameter?
Is 4.
4, yeah, double the radius, right? So circumference equals pi times 4. Which gives us 4 pi. So to figure out the area of this rectangle, we take 7 inches times 4 pi. 7 is our height and 4 pi is our base. 7 times 4 is 28. So the area of the rectangle is 28 pi inches squared. Now, once again, we have 3 faces, right? So how many times do I write 4 pi inches squared?
2.
2 times. There's a circle on the top and a circle on the bottom. And then how many times do I write the rectangle?
Once.
Once, okay? Right in the middle. So let's write that out. We have 4 pi. Oops, let me do that. Surface area is we have 4 pi, and we write it out. 4 pi, we write out twice. And then we have the area of one rectangle, which is 28 pi. Add that up. And we get 2 times 4 pi is 8 pi. 8 pi plus 28 pi is 36 pi. So final answer, 36 pi inches squared. 36 pi inches squared. You can also do 36 times 3.14, and that should give you like 108, 110, somewhere around there, and 12. So you have 2 different answers, one in terms of pi and the other one in terms of a decimal. Calculation very quickly, just to have another solution. We have, what was it, 36 times 3.14. It gives you 113.04. 0.04 inches squared. So either answer is acceptable. So just like the previous worksheet for surface area number 1, you may collaborate with your partner or teammates for problem A. But for problem B, please do it independently to see if you truly understand the concepts. The worksheet for surface area number 2 looks very similar to number 1. But this time we're dealing with square pyramids, cylinders, and a revisiting of triangular prisms. As like before, if you need additional supports, here are some video tutorials with math with Mr. J for surface area of a square pyramid, surface area of cylinder, and surface area of triangular prisms. And if you want some more practice, as I emphasized, the more practice you get, the better you become. You can work on these cells that relate to these specific concepts. Last but not least, for your pattern, please write down surface area number 2 and the IXL. The easy one is on cylinders and the harder one is on pyramids. Reach a score of at least 90 and submit a screenshot on Google Classroom with your name. And extra credit. As always, there's tutoring after school every day except for Wednesdays. Take care.